well, not talking, but was on Facebook. And a friend of mine, I consider her a friend, never met in person. She's in another country, actually. But um, she is excited about fellowshipping with a group that she says is in the body of Mashiach. And she says, yeah, for as long as I've known her, and it's been since like 2008, she's kept Shabbat, her and her family. But this group is a Christian group. And so she's like, it's nothing wrong with going worshiping with them on Sunday, because even in the Word, on the first day of the week, the apostles, they came together and they would worship. So I went back to her, and I just want your take on it. But I went back to her, and I said, you know, olive trees don't grow apples. And I find it really interesting how people don't make an effort to keep the Shabbat, but they real eager for you to come worship with them on Sunday. They don't worship with you on Saturday, but they're like, oh, come to my place, come to my place, come to my place on Sundays. And then a lot of our people go. And so I had to look at, why do they go? And I say that they go because they're looking for fellowship. Usually when I ask the question, they're looking for fellowship. They're looking for like-minded people, but those are not like-minded people. Because the first thing I always notice is that they'll say, oh no, I keep the Shabbat. And then they say, oh, well, I keep the Shabbat too, but I keep it on Sunday. Then once you explain to them, well, Sunday really isn't the Shabbat according to the scriptures, and then you give them all that, they go, yeah, I know, but you can worship them whenever you want. Well, that's true, but that doesn't dismiss the Shabbat. So now what do you think? I guess the question is, how do you feel about Yisrael going amongst other, I call them demon nations? So I think you already know my take on it. But how do you feel about that? Because I find it very interesting that we as a people are always going, oh, I want to fellowship with them. I want to fellowship with them. But you don't see Jewish people going worshiping with Catholics on Sunday. You don't see that. You don't see Islamic people going worshiping with Catholic or Christians or whatever on Sunday. They keep their days and they go on about their business. So why is it such a need in our community, if you will, or in the Commonwealth of Yisrael, that they always want to go out and fellowship with other people? Weren't we told to tear down those synagogues and to be set apart and all the other things? We're not learn not the way of the heathen, all of those things. So what do you think is going on? I guess the main question is, why is that need there to fellowship with others?
I don't know why the need is there, but one thing, one of the things is that they are, I don't know. They think they're in, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
in with Yah,
Mm-hmm.
but thing is, uh, that's a draw to take, to pull them away,
Right.
and they don't realize it.
And I've seen that too. I've seen it where people that do that, they'll go into these circuses, because that's what they are, and then they'll get rebuked and asked not to return because they go in with the intent. I think they finna convert somebody. But isn't it true in the word that when the apostles went out, they went to people that were already converted or interested in learning, right?
For the most part.
They weren't just going to everybody. They went to those that were like the church that is in Corinth. They were already going to groups of people that wanted to learn the way, not just a group of people that, oh, well, I like the way they worship, so I'll go and then I'm going to, share the word with them. Not to say that y'all won't open ears. I'm not saying that, because That's his choice, his decision. But he also gave us instructions on what not to do. Don't go around them. You're going to get tripped up by their idols and their form of worship. You're going to look up and be celebrating Christmas, just because, it makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. That kind of thing. Um, I think I think it's a desire. Actually, a lot of people that I know were not born into it. So came in they were born as the worldly Christians, if you will, in the different denominations. So they are used to like I can even say myself, in the Baptist church, they praise is strong, really, really strong. They love singing, they love dancing, praising Yah. Now they weren't keeping most of the commands, but they have that zeal to worship. And that could be something you might miss coming over to the other side, where the form of worship is better now. But like I've been in this for 22 years and we had worship, but now we're more into our own songs with the names in them, things like that. Before, like early on, you were still listening to the regular people, Yolanda Adams and people like that, and they say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And we still hear songs like that. So as we continue to grow, hopefully our songs can all get our culture in it, and we can move on from there. But is it safe to say that a lot of people are caught up in the nostalgia of what they used to be a part of?
They're they still have those old friends,
Mm-hmm.
and those old friends basically are they just I mean, they're they're basically stuck because they're not. I mean, they have no intention of obeying all of the commandments. I mean, the friends of
Mm-hmm.
the heathen friends of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
and they just they you know they they're not going to budge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they show no
Um,
desire.
yeah, they don't show desire to
Mm-hmm.
do anything else
The
but
other
what they're
thing that you
doing.
got to be careful with too is the children. Like, for instance, you could take you and your Yisrael family amongst them, and that'll confuse your kids, especially if you all been like a grassroots or not a lot of people think as you do, and then you go into the circus and they got all these activities, kids, they have more kids, people their age, and now a confusion can set in where your children are starting to question what they do, and they may have even been born Yisrael. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so the whole what do you call it? Counterculture.
Counterculture. Okay.
Well, we're counterculture to them also.
Mm-hmm.
To us, they're the you know
Mm-hmm.
they're the many others. They're
Mm-hmm.
not because they don't have any intention of following Yahweh.
Right.
They say that they say that they do, but how do you obey them? And uh, you're not keeping any of what he intended.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, on the seventh day we're supposed to rest. We're not supposed to even consider work, much
Right.
less go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that some of us have things, but we're not supposed to actually work on Shabbat at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we should actually be sacrificing. I mean, doing the minimal, for to the ones to appeal to senses, not for sin and all that.
Right.
You know, we should be
just to give him a sweet
doing
smell and savor kind
right.
of thing.
We should be actually doing well, I mean, keeping all of the moedim as well. I mean, you know, we've got one coming up next month.
Which one?
It's
what do we speak
it's almost 2 months from now.
Which one?
Rededication.
No, that's next month. We're in the 8th month now. And Hanukkah is on the 25th of the 9th month.
25th, yeah.
So we got about a month and a half.
It's almost 2 months away. So yeah, they're.
And that's the other thing too, because we have so many feast days that it's almost like, why even look anywhere else? You have the weekly Shabbats, so that's 4. That's once a week right there. That's a no-brainer, once a week. Then you have the new moon.
So 52.
Right, you got 52 celebrations right there. And then you got the new moon, so that's 12, 52 of those.
64.
Wait a minute, no, we even calculating wrong. It's 4. Yeah, you're right. Okay, 4 weeks.
52 weeks.
4 weeks is 52 weeks. So you got 52 Shabbats. Then you got 12 new moons.
64. Wait.
64.
12 and
52.
So
you had it right. 64. So you got 64 off the bat. That does not include anything in the 23rd. Well, the Shabbat's there, but not, you know, the 23rd of Leviticus.
All of the regular 7.
Yep. And then the civil 71. Ones. You know, you might do Nicanor's Destruction, Purim, Hanukkah, Simon's Feast. Yeah. So we're talking about, to drive the point,
almost 80.
Come on now. That's a lot of feasts. But people gravitate, and it's only, I believe, because of the heartstrings, because of the fanfare of it all, because of the past that we came out of, that desire exists for people to go back into those heathen ways. And that is just so weird. It's so weird to me.
Not really weird. It's because human nature is to err. What's the saying? To err is human, to forgive is divine. That always plays out because not all of us, but as a race, and I'm not talking about black and white, I'm talking about human.
People, right, human race.
That's
really what race is.
We always go, you know, we always, and that's why Yahshua said what he said, that the dog is turned back to its vomit, and the pig they're wallowing in the mire. Yeah, that's the whole thing with that.
Well, that's sad, and I guess the prayer that needs to go forth and go out is that Yisrael learn to stand on their own, because I mean, you looking at the things that are happening in the world. These people are speaking up. They realizing who they are. They're waking up, and that demon is right on their heels, ready to devour, ready to kill, ready to destroy and assassinate their character and pull money from their pockets.
That's what they're.
That's
what they're
demons,
doing.
That's exactly what they're doing.
See, that's what they're doing to Kyrie Irving. As a matter of fact, Kyrie Irving,
Kanye West as well,
is well. What's going on with Kyrie is that the team has the
owners,
the executives of the team. Well, you know, that's the owners and the front office. They've decided that Kyrie needs to start. He he didn't actually apologize
Mhm.
openly.
Mhm.
He apologized on one of his accounts,
Okay.
and but they basically want to humiliate the man.
Right, because first and foremost, what is he apologizing for? You put up a tweet or whatever
A
he was
link,
on, image,
a
what
link
is it?
to
A link or what? Yeah,
a
he
link
puts
to
up
Hebrews to
something.
Negroes is what he put up.
Right. Okay. He didn't say, "Oh, go watch this for the truth." He didn't throw any of that in there. He just said, "Hey." He may have said, "Go check this out," but
At the
that could have been
most.
to spark
And
conversation.
they see the narrative that they're trying to keep
Mm-hmm.
is that they're saying that he was promoting
Mm-hmm.
Hebrews and Negroes, and by because all of these Jewish people know what that book stands for and what it says,
Mm-hmm.
they're
And they
like,
know
oh,
it's the truth.
it's
It's offensive.
it's an it's
Anti-Semitic,
any Semitic,
which is impossible.
which
If you know the
is
definition of the words. It's
right.
actually, you know what? I have to be real. It's actually insulting. When they say anti-Semitic, it's insulting.
Yeah,
It really is.
It really
Because I know
it really
the
makes
truth.
it makes you want to slap somebody in the face.
Yeah.
with a glove. You know that you, sir, are a charlatan. You want to slap him
Yeah,
with a
you just want,
glove or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Shut up,
Right.
uppeth thy moutheth.
Right. Because
So,
when you know the truth, and it's like, wow, really? And
right.
that's another whole podcast that, hey, everybody else is jumping in on it and into it. Maybe we will as well. But I think the representation is out there. I think the point is getting out pretty well that we don't necessarily have to delve into it, but it's definitely a thing with me that when they run with that anti-Semitic stuff, they run with it, they run with it, they run with it, and it's like, nope, that's kind of impossible
because
you're
you're
Ashkenazi.
because
Go read
no one
Genesis 10.
challenges them.
Exactly. That's it.
Now with me, you got the right one.
The challenge is on.
10.
Exactly. That's all you got to
Genesis
say.
10.
That's all you got to say.
Genesis chapter 10. They know.
Well, another thing too, I saw a meme and it's going a little, well, kind of like it is in the same realm of our topic. But I saw a meme that said, why is it that they go to the Holocaust? They go there quick, fast, and hurry, but they never talk about the captivity in the Bible.
Shoot.
And I said, well, there's a reason for that because it's not their captivity.
Right.
It didn't happen to them.
Exactly. They don't.
That's why they don't go to it.
How can you remember what you've never experienced?
Exactly.
And then there are two other critics of theirs who are their people.
Okay.
If I say the first name, you'll recognize it automatically.
Well, yeah.
The 13th tribe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are some books.
Arthur Kessler.
Yeah, that expose that. And see, now this is the thing. Well, did he lose all his money? Did they shun him? Did they do anything wayward?
I believe that they murdered Arthur Kessler. It's
we can't prove that, so we can't. That's an opinion, but yeah, I get it.
That's why I said I believe first. But then there was Shlomo Sand book, his book, The Invention of the Jewish People.
Invention, keyword. They invented the whole thing.
That's another damning, some more damning evidence against them.
Right. I have a couple of books too, and I can't think of the names offhand, but yeah, the point is, and I think that's what we're saying is that the information is out there. And it's been getting written for a long time. So why all of a sudden this one person says something and you're losing your mind? And it's not Aunt Sim is what I call it. I don't say the whole thing, but it's not. It's impossible for it to be. if you know that if you know your heritage, which the Bible is very clear. See, that's the thing. People don't like reading, but in certain instances, you need to go and look at those begats. Who begat who? Who's the father of who? Who's the grandfather of
Yeah,
whom?
yeah,
You need to look at that. Even if
yeah.
you just look at it once,
Which
it'll
is
get you to the information you need. But see, people see
begat,
that and they like, oh no, I'm not
begat,
trying to see all that.
begat. The Hebrew word yaled,
Mm-hmm.
which is talking about bearing children. I'm
Mm-hmm.
explaining to the audience,
Mm-hmm.
and well,
You're led,
you
all
see,
right.
each
Led to get the
of
truth.
it's right. Each of the see a lot of the theology is in the names, though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's they all the names leading up to Abraham, which is the 22nd head or the
Mm-hmm.
22nd generation
Mm-hmm.
from Adam.
Yep.
Note that number 22. That's a very, very important number.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something on that. We'll do something on the numbers one day. Yeah.
It's see that's actually a really big thing
Mm-hmm. It is.
because you I don't know.
But
You don't do a
going through
lot
it.
without 22.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, it's
Including living.
right.
But yes,
So,
again though, but no, because we'll go off on topic. But yeah, the you were saying about, excuse me, you were saying about how the what exact? Well, you were just speaking on the books that are out with these different authors that have been telling this information for a long time, and we don't know about their demise or what happened to them or whatever,
yeah.
but they're exposing the fact that this position or people or group that these other people are trying to claim is really not their group. And what
Mhm.
was the man? I always forget his name, but the one that says, "How is it that you left black but came back white?"
Yeah, I missed him last night. Uh, Gamal Abdel Nasser.
Okay, yeah. Those kind of questions warrant answers, you know? And that's what people are overlooking and skirting and,
Mm-hmm.
shucking and jiving, if you will.
Then a quick note on uh, uh, shall we? Well, nah, he wasn't emperor, but at the same time, he was the one who pointed out the whole Zionism uh, 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 uh,
The
because
movement.
they in fact uh, it's all that whole thing is part of Zionism,
Mm-hmm.
which was a which was really a fake. Uh, it was propaganda
Mm-hmm.
that these people were originally from Israel, and
Mm-hmm.
when excuse me, when they were actually in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so what 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 the whole thing was to whitewash,
Mm-hmm.
I mean change everyone to their color
Mm-hmm.
in Yahweh's word.
Mm-hmm.
There was no evidence of them ever having lived in the quote unquote Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
but suddenly they have they're the main ones, and nowadays we see what they've brought in. They brought in homosexuality into the Holy Land,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all these LGBTQs and ABCDEFGs
Mm-hmm.
are acting like or well, seeming to celebrate Israel for their quote unquote acceptance.
See.
But
Mm-hmm.
I read in for one, in the book of in the book of Leviticus, for one, that a man shall not sleep with a man as he sleeps with a woman.
Right.
Romans chapter 1, as they left
men and women.
They
Left the natural affections.
The natural affections, the ordinate affection, and took on inordinate affections. The man would sleep with the man, and the woman with the woman. See, the Bible condemns that, and I mean, as accepting as we're supposed to be, it's Yahweh who makes these statements, and we can't speak for Yahweh if we're in the flesh,
right,
which is
carnal,
which is to say that we're honoring the how our flesh feels, because it has to do more with feelings than with what Yahweh's spirit is,
the truth.
Yeah, exactly. The truth, what the truth means to the body. So we have to be careful not to allow our feelings to interfere.
Right.
Besides, the Bible says, trust in Yahweh with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding.
Right.
But in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. In all your ways.
Oh.
That includes sex as well, y'all.
And to be on topic with this, that includes going into these circuses. You have to guard his word and his teachings, and lean not to your own understanding. We know sometimes the walk gets lonely, but there are so many people now I know of. Just go to Facebook groups. Not that you're looking for anybody, but just like-minded people. Go into these groups and just see what they're saying. Now, I do not agree with a lot of groups, and that was a ploy and a tactic as well, which is another whole topic. The BHI, the Black Hebrew Israelite. I'm not a Black Hebrew Israelite. Never professed to be one. No, never said I was one. But because of my color of my skin, I was automatically labeled with them. And that was the trick that the enemy put out there.
And what we believe, they
right,
think, oh, it's similar to them, so it's got to be them. See, that's that whole
lumping everybody into one
white thing. It's called stereotyping, and it's not even right in the eyes of Yahweh. Right. So, what their lazy problem is that they're not going to flesh things out. They're going, they're just going to paint everything with one broad stroke.
Yeah,
and it's it's what gets them judged.
It's the reversal of whitewashing. It's blackwashing.
Right.
You automatically put us all lumped into one group.
Into one
and
negative
it's like,
group.
No. Just like I don't put Protestants with apostolic, although they can all be, non-melanated or whatever, but you don't automatically put them in groups. So why do we automatically get put into groups? So it was another trick. It was a ploy of the enemy to diminish who we really are and to make us a negative when we're a positive.
It's all over again. It's the and I remember it happening twice, but mentioned at least 3 times. Once in the New Testament, that about Rachel lamenting her children.
Okay.
During the time that they killed all of the children of 2 years and
under
and younger in Israel. That was what they did, and but it was mentioned in, I believe it was in the book of Acts.
Okay.
Talking about Rachel, Rachel, mourning and grieving the loss of her children. What I mean by that is that's what their thing they do to us.
And
They
that's the
don't.
thing too. They are
They
constantly
want to
trying to destroy.
destroy,
There you go.
and that's the whole
And
thing.
it hasn't worked. And that's going back to this Kyrie thing and Kanye. It has always been an attempt to destroy us. And of course, when you actually read the book with understanding, and if you are of the jealous sort and you're like outside of this elite, special, powerful group, yeah, you're going to be considered a hater. And in your hating ways, yep, you're looking to destroy us because what's the phrase? You hate us because you ain't us.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what they say? So yeah, so it's like so crystal clear, yet in the muddiest and murkiest of water for some. They just don't get it.
Right.
So yeah, so I guess in conclusion of this one, we'll wrap it up and save the other topics for another time. But people, don't go into these other churches. Just leave them alone. Let them be wicked. What is it, with their own devices, and leave them to themselves. Yes.
Leave them to their own devices.
That's right. Because we have no part with them. We have no reason to be a part. We have to function in the world, but we do not. We have been blessed to be able to worship how we choose in most cases. And in that, don't learn the way of the heathen. Leave that alone.
Right.
Leave it alone. If you want to hang out with some people, hang out. Do like a game night. You see what I'm saying? Do something where you all are just hanging out. But to bring Yah in it and no, leave that part alone. You can still fellowship with people without taking away from his rules, regulations, and the judgment will not come on you for that. You can socialize with people as long as you're doing it in righteousness. Like I said, a game night is a wonderful one. Go bowling. You know what I'm saying? Have a cooking party. Something like that. Of course, no pork and unclean allowed, but do something else.
Thing is, too, though, what people have to come over. I heard this one preacher's name is Bishop Noel Jones. What he said, and which I fully agree with, is that in order to commit that act of turning against Yah, you have to go over and against the Ruach HaKodesh. You have to and all of the warnings that are in your spirit that keep telling you that something's not right. And so I also exhort Yahweh's people that to not ignore. What was that when the how's that biblical expression go? When harden not your heart.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Harden not your heart,
right.
because he is going to call into you if you don't respond. That's basically a death thing with you, and you will be judged.
All right. So that concludes our discussion for today. And we thank you for listening. And what do we always say? Yah, bring us closer to the saints
and further from names.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Thanks for listening. This has been a BAOY production.